Reminder that in the assessment, you should be in the habit of showing before and after screenshots as you improve your outcome. And here's another example of that. Before we create our advanced search code, we need some test plans. So one test plan is to filter the data by Japanese and positive sentiment. So if I do a search for that, those are the results that should display. Another thing that I want to test is that leaving all fields blank does show all the items in the database in alphabetical order. I know that deep is a keyword that often gets used in the meaning of a word. And if I search for things that are deep and neutral sentiment, there should be 2 results. And now that we've got our test plans, we can go ahead and create the code. Go into allsearches.php, and in the else block, remember to comment the end of your else curly bracket. Wanting to retrieve the keyword from our form, we also want to retrieve the language and the sentiment. Reminder that in our sidepanel.php, we set up names for our keyword, for our language, and for our sentiment. Those names should match what's in the square brackets after the request command. We can then set up our SQL condition so if the keyword matches the word or the keyword matches something in the meaning, it's going to give us a result. We want to match the language and sentiment, but only if they're not empty. This means we want to set up an if the language is not empty, then we can add and the language is whatever the language is into our SQL. We can do almost the same thing for our sentiment. Once we've set up the language and the sentiment, we can then order our results alphabetically. And our last step is to set up a heading and some help text. Then we can test our code following our test plan. And Japanese positive works as expected. If I go back into the options and I search without putting in a term, I get everything in alphabetical order. And if I go for the keyword deep and a sentiment of neutral, as expected, I get 2 results. Inside panel.php, please remove the class equals submit, which you probably have on your button if you've been following me exactly. Then in the open button tag after the name, create another element called onClick. And we're going to use this command to access the add entry page. So window.location.href, need an equal followed by single speech marks. We want this button to take people to our add entry page, which means we need to copy that add entry file name, create a new file called addentry.php. To check that this worked, we can put in our add an entry heading. And hopefully if you go into your side panel and push add entry, it will go to our add entry page. In the next video, we're going to set up our add entry form and maybe even add that entry to our database.